Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm your host, Elizé Todd, and I'm going to be just showing you a fun page today. We're getting into the info page for our plant care app. I'm super excited to get into it because this is more the meat of our app that we've been working on. For those that are you that are new, no worries. I'm going to show you a little around the daily creative challenge, and you can always rewatch the previous videos as well. But for those of you who have been with me for the last week and few days, welcome back. Let's keep expanding on our design. So let me show you real quickly. This is what the Behance.net Daily Creative Challenge landing page looks like. And one of the mods will put this link for you if you have not signed up for it yet. And in order to sign up, all you need to do is click on the big blue button here to sign up. And the first thing you'll do is get your challenge. So every day there is a new challenge. We are on challenge number 6, which is here, the info page. And you have two options, one to get started and download the Adobe XD file, and also to watch the video, which is this video you're watching now, to replay it. This challenge is going from June 21st to July 23rd. I'll be live with you the rest of this week, and then we're just gonna play the replay of the last 2 weeks or the previous 2 weeks from that point. So you have 4 weeks to complete this project, which is awesome because then after 4 weeks, you have a full case study to put on your portfolio for this plant care app that we're creating together. The other thing, something got in my eye. The other thing you want to think about doing for this is to join the community chat here, which is our Discord channel. That looks like this. And from here, you can upload your challenge under feedback. This is the challenge channel. You can upload it to get feedback from mentors like myself and the others here, and also from your peers. Yes, you guys can give feedback to each other. We really highly suggest that, actually. And then there are some other channels you might want to check out. You can upload your portfolio to get feedback. You can ask a question. I will be in this channel, Ask a Question, after today's session. So if you have any questions around this topic or anything, I'm there to answer for you. And then there are tips and tricks. This is one that I'm adding into every day, adding some resources, some best practices for you as well in that channel. So check it out. And then, of course, you can watch the daily channel every day at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can also upload your designs into Behance. And that's what we're going to show you right now. Some of you who've uploaded it into Behance and used the XD Creative Challenge tag. Let's check out Branalil, his designs here. We've got all the screens that he's showing, which is super nice. So you can kind of see it from a bird's eye view here. And then he also has put it in a video. Let me just expand this view so you can see it. And yesterday's session was all about horizontal scrolling. So he's got that nice peekaboo right here, so you can tell that it's something scrollable, as well as making it vertically scrollable as well. So that looks really good. And you made it more of your own. Great work. And then we have this one, Victoria's Plant Babies. I like the name, Plant Babies. And she's broken down each day. So she has day 1, her mood boards. She has the onboarding screens. So cute. Love the colors. Very like friendly. Kind of reminds me of Easter or something, like homey, comfortable, relaxed. Then she has her logo and her loading screen. The plant questionnaire app here. And then from yesterday's, she has the browsing page. And she's using the horizontal scroll here for your babies and advice from experts. Yeah, looks great. Awesome job, Victoria. We'll show you one more from Nicholas. Oh, so fancy at the top here. Oh, beautiful mock-ups. And let me play this here. Well, again, the full experience. We have the onboarding screens, all that movement with the animations. We have the questionnaire. Ooh, nice. And then here we have the browsing page. That was quick, but we saw it. Could I get back to the, no, but it was beautiful. Oh, here we are. Here we can see your screens. Oh, I like that the plant is kind of coming outside of the like circle area. That looks really cool. I like that style you did. Great job. So if you guys are interested in uploading your work into Behance, super easy. Over here on the upper right hand side in Behance, after you create a profile, there's a create a project big button. You'll select that and you'll add images and text and videos into here. And then you'll go into settings over on the right hand side and just make sure you put an XD creative challenge as the tag so I can see it and I can show it off during these lives. All right. Oh, guys, it's good to see you again into the chat. Hi, Aurora. Hi, Masayu. Hi, Sam. Hi, Rosemary and Gareth. Good to see you guys. And happy Tuesday to you guys. How are you doing? Where are you from? Where are you at now? So many questions I just asked you. I'm in Long Beach. So, oh, my background just changed. What happened there? Oh, well. So let's show you Adobe. Let's get into it. So the XD Creative Challenge, the prompt is to design. Are you guys able to see my screen okay? I hope so. Okay, cool. The challenge prompt is to design the plant info page for a plant care app and let users quickly navigate to specific sections using anchor links and scroll to. I just saw Sam says, you're in Long Beach too? Oh my gosh, how crazy. I don't meet many people here in Long Beach. So that's super cool. So that's our challenge. Here's some of the inspiration here. We have some awesome plant app visuals. And this is the actual design that I shared here. And it's a fairly long page because we're trying to fit a lot of information here, which is why we're using anchor scrolling. So let me show you what that looks like. Here, if I go to tasks, it scrolls me down to a certain section, or if I go into FAQ, it scrolls me down to a certain section here. So that's what we're using so that the user can quickly go to a certain section within the screen. And this allows for more discoverability. With, when you have a really long screen, maybe people don't know the expert tips down below or the frequently asked questions that you have that. So we put it up top so they can easily get to that section. Another big benefit of using scrolling is that the benefit of it is that the benefits of it increase as the size of the device decreases. Why is this so hard to say? So meaning if you have desktop and you're using the scroll to, might not be as effective as when you're moving down to mobile. Because for mobile, as you can tell, if the text is fairly wide, it's going to get longer and longer and longer for the smaller your screens get. So that's why it's especially important for something like using it on an app or a mobile device, thinking about using those anchor scrolling. Okay, so let's get into it a little bit here. As far as the content goes and what you want to include on this screen, I highly recommend if you did think about who you're designing your app for and the main features, I would decide on what you want to include into this main screen for the plant information. For me, I'm going to bring you back all the way to the first artboard that I shared with you, which was my persona, who I was creating this for. And some of the wants that I want to address in this plant information screen is the plant experts. The plant expert opinions. So I want to make sure that those expert opinions are somewhere in my screen here. The other thing I wanted to address was some of the frustrations they have with other plant sites, which is there's like too much information on some plant blogs, and they don't really trust boring sites or hard vocabulary. So I wanted to make sure it was going to be really easy for them. And I also want to address some of the challenges and some of the tasks around scheduling care. So those are the three main kind of ideas I had for things I wanted to include into this page. And the reason why I want to first think about what's going to go on the page is because I want to think about what is the hierarchy of information on the page. As you may guess, the higher up it is on the screen, the more important it is. And when we have a really long screen, that becomes important for us. And we really want to think about that hierarchy of information. What does our user want to see first? So for me, I was thinking that the first thing that my plant mama wants to see is her tasks. Like, is there anything she needs to do today or anything coming up? So that's why I included this here, the tasks. Right underneath that, I have the care. Like, what is the high level care that she has to do for this Monstera plant? And I wanted to remember the pain point she had, which was like a really long page, and she wants something more simple, not too hard vocabulary. I thought using icons with some fun colors and simple text would make things really easy for her to understand. Then I have a video as well. She doesn't like to read, it seems. So maybe she'll watch a video too on plant care. And then I have some frequently asked questions. You know, how can you propagate? How do you water correctly, etc. And then I have the expert tips. So what are some expert tips that we can share with her? So that's the hierarchy I have. So you want to think about that as well for your screen. Something I also recommend is to sketch out your design before you start getting into the actual XD file. You might want to sketch out the information and what it's going to kind of feel like and the information. So you could always just easily move it about and change it and think thoroughly before you get into the design file. So let me break down some of these things for you. At the very top, I'm gonna of course have an image because we want to see, okay, that's the plant. Visuals mean often a lot more than text. So she's like, okay, I see that that's my same plant. I get it. And I am going to go over here on the left-hand side and I'm just gonna move the layer all the way back so that you can see this back button that I've included. And I wanted to make sure that the back button was not just an arrow, but I have this big circle behind it because I wanna make sure it's fairly large for the user to see that they can go back. So I made it a pretty decent sized button. It's 40 pixels by 40 pixels. And yesterday we talked a little bit about touch targets and sizing of buttons. So 40 pixels is a good size. And then I have some of the text here, and this is where we're going to do our anchor scrolling. And a best practice here for anchor scrolling, best practice alert, is make sure that the text you have matches the heading of the section. So tasks go to tasks, care goes to care, and you can clearly see that so the user remembers, oh yeah, that's where I'm trying to go, FAQ, perfect. That's the section I'm trying to get to. So underneath that, I have my task, which was, getting to water the plant. And then I have my care. And then I just wanted to show you how I work with images a little bit. This is probably the more challenging part and something I haven't shown yet, which is working with some gradients and with my images. So first, to include an image, I'm just going to create a rectangle. I'm using the shortcut R on my keyboard, and you can also find that in your toolbar over here on the left-hand side. The second option here is rectangle. And from there, I'm going to drag in the little circle inside so that it's a rounded corner. And now I'm going to mask an image. I'm going to grab my image I want, bring it over here, scale it down. And then I'm gonna go into my, oh, so yeah, that's what happened. My green screen moved, guys. What happened there? This side, this side, it's this side. That's what moved. Let's fix it. Do, 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 do. Thanks, guys, for letting me know. Not sure what happened. It's not, I don't think it's fixable today. Oh, here it goes. Yeah! I don't know what happened before I went live. Maybe like I knocked it over with my chair. But thanks for the catch, guys. So I have my image and Hemacord's like, I see your hair clip. I was wearing that earlier today. I'm like, let me just put that over there. You guys are really seeing like behind the scenes somewhat here now. So I have my image and then I have the shape behind it. And yesterday I showed a little bit of masking, I think, but I'm going to just show it again. So I'm going to go into my layers and just make sure that the shape is on top of the actual image. Then I'm just going to grab both objects, right click and select mask with shape. So now I can like adjust this if I want it to be a bit longer. I could double click to get into the background if I want, etc. So now I want to do this, add this like gradient on top. So I'm just going to select this shape and I'm going to copy and paste. You can't see anything different on the actual artboard, but on the left-hand side in my layers panel, you'll see that there's like two things selected. I'm just going to actually, what I'm trying to do is just get that rectangle and this rectangle. I'm just gonna fill the color here. So basically I have two layers. One is the image and the one on top is just a color. But that's just a big old block of color in front. And I want it to have that nice gradient where I can see the background a bit. And so from here, I'm gonna go into fill in my property inspector, and instead of solid color, I'm gonna change it to linear gradient. Yeah. From here, I'm gonna just drag it because I want it to go from left to right. And so over here in this little view here, I can see on the left side, there's this color, and then on the right side, it's actually automatically adjusts the color to something darker, but I don't want that to be the case. I want to keep it at this lighter color. So I'm just gonna copy this hex code. I'm gonna paste it in here so it's the same color. But now what I'm gonna do is I want to slowly make that gradient. So I'm going to click into the line here, and this adds a little dot over here in this little gradient scale. So I'm gonna just now take the opacity down, make another little dot, take it down, another little dot, take it down, and then this one, it's gonna be even further down there. So there's kind of like a gradual gradient. Yay, woohoo, we got it. So I want to make sure that it kind of goes from dark to light so that and I'm gonna put the text more on that left-hand side for contrast to make sure it's more readable. That's what's most important when you're putting text on images, is to think about readability. So we wanna play around with that contrast. Okay, so now I have my frequently asked questions section, and from here I would turn on repeat grid over here on the right hand side. I'm gonna select that. Then I can drag this down, and I can do this horizontally or vertically to infinity and beyond. And so I'm just gonna select it down to here. And I can change the spacing between my elements as well if I want to. And if I change the color here, it's gonna reflect across all of the ones in the repeat grid. I'm gonna keep it there. All right, so I have my FAQs, but you can go ahead and change out the text if you like. And then I have my expert tips. So from here, once my design is where I want it to be, with something that is has longer, where we're going to use that long scroll to feature for prototyping. I like to just group everything together to make sure that they're in the, like all these elements are all grouped with each other. So expert tips, I'm going to have everything in here as a group. I can also do the shortcut if I want to, which is Command G. All the things here in care together. So now if I move them, this group, they all go together. That's what happens when they're in a group. All the things in task as a group. Cool. Now I'm ready to prototype. I'm gonna go from design mode now into prototyping mode. This is the cool thing about prototyping the scroll to, is if I select this text here, tasks, and I just drag the little arrow to this section, it automatically on the right-hand side creates the trigger and action type. So I don't have to really do much. I could change some of the easing and the duration and etc., but I'm pretty happy with where it's at in the default. So I'm just gonna do the same thing with care. And then I'm gonna grab FAQ and just drag the little arrow down to FAQ. Go to expert tips and drag that down over here. And we got it. So I'm gonna play it. If I go down to FAQ, FAQ should be at the top here. I should be able to read the heading here, which was the important piece, and get easily down to that section. Yeah. All right. Any questions on that? Any questions before I move on to a little bit more of an expert tip to think about when you're designing these long screens? I'll wait as I start to get prepped and ready for it. I'm gonna be back in design mode. And something that's really cool, this feature is called stacks. And it's something I'm gonna turn on and show you a little bit about, show you how it works. So I'm gonna take all these groups and make a bigger group from it. So again, this is more like, don't worry about this if you're a beginner, just worry about creating the scroll to. This is just a new feature if you're ready for it. I'm gonna take all of these and make them a group. Then I'm gonna go to the right here and turn on stacks. Did I call it scroll groups earlier? If I did, I meant stacks. So stacks, I'm gonna turn on, and this is vertically. What this does is, let's say I'm like, I wanna make another plant page. I'm gonna like, get rid of this and bring this guy in. And because of that, maybe the tasks and the FAQs change. So maybe here, I'm gonna turn on repeat grid, and I can just drag this down, and you're gonna see the content is aware, and it's also, all the content is moving down alongside with it. So it's already moving down, so I don't have to actually, let me show you how I would do it otherwise if I did not have this turned on. As if I had a repeat grid, drag this down, then I would have to like take all these sections and then drag it down and then move it about like this, right? This just saves me a lot more time, especially with a page that I'm gonna be using for potentially multiple plants. I can also take this FAQ section and maybe I'm gonna drag this section down. Maybe you're gonna add sections, etc. This just makes it a lot more quickly when you're creating multiple screens with the same sort of layout and structure. So this is something I recommend doing if you wanna also include more plants here. If you wanna do like 2 or 3 plants and have different tasks and care for them, that's something that you guys might want to consider using and playing around with. Stacks, a big time saver. Okay, cool. So we learned about some best practices, which is about clear headings that match the scroll section. So let's play it again. Should look like this, right? And if you're ready for it, start to play around with stacks. All right, cool. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to get my screen better set up. Not sure what happened earlier today, but thanks for calling me out on it. We do have a question. Let's see if I can answer it within a minute. Lenore's asking, when do you recommend using the horizontal scrolling rather than vertical? You said if you have distinct categories and group names are in vertical scrolling. Are there any considerations? Yeah, I think when you're thinking about subcategories, that's what makes most sense for horizontal scrolling. Or perhaps, so like a subcategory for e-commerce might be shirts, and then you might have horizontal scrolling. And then another subcategory might be pants, right? Something like this you might not want to use it for, because the user wants to potentially see all of their tasks, all of the care, etc. They don't want to have to go and find it. So that's kind of more of like a search sort of aspect for the horizontal scrolling versus something like this where we want the user to be able to quickly access all of this information. All right. Cool. Well, I hope that answers your question, and I hope to see you guys all tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Tuesday. Excited to see your guys' work. All the best. Bye.